Hello everyone and welcome to Divine Debut. Thank you for being here. Let's look at the Astro update for the weekend of the 13th and 14th of February of 2021. As you can see on your screens, we've got the 13th here. This is done in Greek time, so I've put the chart at 0 Aries as I usually do, just to help to give you the understanding. I mean, this is the natural chart where the horizon starts at Aries, so we know that Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. So what's going on with the astrology, everyone? As today being the 13th, one day before Valentine's Day, if it's your birthday today or tomorrow, happy birthday, dear Aquarius. A very important time for Aquarius people on this birthday or on this solar return, with all these planets in the sign of Aquarius. We've just had a new moon which happened at the 23rd degree on the 11th of February, a couple of days ago, in the sign of Aquarius. New moons mean new beginnings. It's a wild card. I hope you've all sent your wishes out to Spirit, to the divine. Aquarius is all about freedom. It's the higher mind. It's very scientific, very intelligent. It's that ingenious mind. It is also the house, it's the natural ruled 11th house, so it deals with friendships, groups and associations. I would even say that it rules politics, politicians. Think of it as politics. There's a lot going on in in politics now and in world matters. And of course the 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th houses, they're all about not our particular personal journey. It's more about the transpersonal of what's going on out there in the world. So it does affect us on a personal scale. Of course, when we've got our chart and we put the transits around to see how our birth chart is being affected by the transits, of course we have to look at these areas of the zodiac as well, the sky, we could always say as well. But it's got a lot to do with the outer world, with the people out there. Aquarius is the people. Okay, it's the masses. Now, Aquarius used to be the water bearer, still is the water bearer. It used to be classified as a water sign back in the days, but it's an air sign, and it's a fixed air sign. So Aquarius likes to be, they like new things, they like to interact. Friendships are very, very important for them. But remember that it's a fixed sign, so they can get quite, what's the word I want to use? Quite comfortable and complacent, even though they like change because they are ruled by Uranus. They are a fixed air sign. So Aquarius always, because it's an air sign, they will retaliate, they will speak against anything that comes through. So anything that we put to an Aquarius individual, they need to look at everything from all areas, right? From, behind the curtain, from the left side, from the right side. They have to see all aspects of something. They've got to do their own homework, let's say, before they can understand what the reality is and what their truth is. Also, there must be good in whatever is trying to come through or manifest, whatever they want to manifest. There has to be something in it for everyone. Aquarius is very much about, as I said, friendships, groups and associations. So they are, even though they're quite eccentric and they do things differently, they do like to have a different scope to things, in comparison to seeing everything as everyone else. They're the ones that will speak up where they where they can produce something new, something eccentric, something very different. That's the scope that Aquarius sees things from. They've got that bird's eye view, remember the 2020 vision. Their intelligence is out of this world. So that's why many times an Aquarius individual can be the one to not agree, in a circumstance, as long as they've done their research and they've seen that it works, something works, okay, let's go ahead with it. So that's where their intelligence comes from, and they're very different. That's why we say that Aquarius is out of this world. Remember, Uranus is their ruling planet. Now, Uranus being in Taurus, with Uranus in Taurus, if there's no value, Taurus is all about value. It's all about things of beauty, things of quality, things of anything to do with matters of things that we love, whether it's a physical thing, a tangible thing, or the quality of something has got to be good. Otherwise, Uranus will rebel, it will revolt, it will bring the change. And of course, Uranus is not strong in Taurus. It doesn't like to be here. But it is obviously, with all the energies in Aquarius connecting to Taurus, if you think Taurus is a fixed earth, so all fixed signs, which is Aquarius, Leo, Taurus, and Scorpio, they're all in square to each other. So whatever is going on in Aquarius is squaring all these planets, have been squaring Uranus. So Saturn is still in the position to square Uranus. As you can see, he's at 6 degrees and Uranus is at 7. They both rule Aquarius, remember, but Saturn is also the ruler of Capricorn. So we can say now that, and as I've explained to you recently in the last Astro update, we're going to have Saturn squaring Uranus 3 times this year. I don't want to be repeating myself, so you could watch last week's update if you're interested in when that will be happening. Remember that Uranus has got to do with anything that is new, out of this world. It's Uranus is the maverick. It's doing things in a different way. It's breaking that mold, those traditions of Saturn. Saturn is the old, it's the conservative, whereas Uranus is the new. So there is a square between these two, and a square means that change needs to happen. Now, Saturn can be governments, people in power, people in government, rules and regulations, limitations, karma. I always see the Lord of Karma, Saturn, as, things have got to be done right, so that they've got to be done right, otherwise we're not able to manifest. It's like the limiting energies of being held back by Saturn. He's like behind your back saying, have you done this, right? If you haven't, you need to return and complete it. Now, for those of you that have been held back by a certain situation, a person, anything at all, and because Saturn can pose as a person as well. The planets in the sky can also be a group of people. It could be a person that's in charge, a boss. This is something, a square means I'm turning a corner, and if there is no value, then this could be a breaking point. And remember that Uranus is, I'm breaking the mold, so I'm going to break the tradition. If there's no value in this for me, I'm going to rebel. I'm going to escape. I'm going to free myself. I'm going to do the work because there's value there. Remember that Uranus in Taurus could also mean freaky weather. Taurus is the earth. Taurus is also money. So the 11th house can also be money coming through from earned income, which, the 10th house is career. So therefore, with this square, it's like we're turning a corner, and this square, the connection of Uranus and Saturn will happen, the difficult connections will happen 3 times this year. And they will happen 3 times a year. It's like a breakdown or a chance to do the work. They will happen 3 times this year, this square. Why? Because the planets retrograde. So when they retrograde, they go backwards, and then they station to turn direct. So they will be doing this dance 3 times this year. Obviously, something needs to change. That's the reason why it's happening. All right, so that the first exact square will be on the 17th, as I've already mentioned. So we're in those energies already. Now, in a few hours, we're going to have Mars. Mars is at 19 degrees, and he is sextiling over to Neptune. The moon is in Pisces. We know that the moon moves very fast. Anyway, the moon and Neptune are conjoined right now, so expect a lot of rain, things to do with the seas. Remember, Neptune is the god. He is the god of the seas. Also, anything to do with media, illusions, deception, disillusionment. Neptune can also, in Pisces, he's in his home sign, so this could also be our psychological health, but also spirituality. Now, the moon is very much about the subconscious. The moon can also mean fears. Yes, the fears of the unknown. Pisces is the natural 12th house. So the 12th house is usually a spiritual house. It is a house of spirit, but it's also the house of illusions, imprisonment, medicinal, taking medicines to relieve the fear or the pain or the psychological difficulty, and it's a form of escapism, trying to escape any sort of imprisonment, a sense of feeling imprisoned or bound by a situation. Remember that the moon is also our emotions, it's our subconscious. The moon can also signify our home country, but also our home and our mother, because it rules the 4th house. Now, pay attention to your dreams. They're going to be very vivid. Okay, I don't know about you, but I've noticed as the moon transits through Pisces or Scorpio, through water signs, I'd like to hear your comments on that. I tend to have difficulty sleeping. So I don't know if it's just me or if it's everyone. So I'd love to hear your comments on that. But yes, very important dreams. Pay attention to the dreams, because there will be messages. This could be also spirit sending you messages, sending you answers to any unanswered questions on your own personal journey. Okay, so as I was saying, we've got Mars sextiling over to this area. Now, Mars in Taurus, not strong. Mars likes to move forward. It's our passion, it's our desire, it's our action. We're not very action orientated at this time, as Mars is not very fast in Taurus, and it can be quite aggravating and frustrating, right? Because Taurus is all about its earth, so Taurus needs to decide. Remember, it's fixed earth, to decide if there's any value before they take action, before the action is orientated on a forward momentum. Is there value for me here so I can move forward? Now, sextile means we need to do the work. So this could also say that because Neptune, remember, is water, it's emotional, it's also very psychic. As I said, dreams, pay attention. But Neptune is the illusion. It's also spiritual. This could also be help coming from spirit, any dream state, or if you meditate at all, you could be receiving answers on a project, on anything that you're wanting to move forward, anything that you want to create or instigate, move forward with. Pay attention. Pay attention, because the Neptune and the moon are bringing in those helpful qualities, but that doesn't mean the work shouldn't be done, the effort shouldn't be put forth, because a sextile means the help is there, it's there for the taking. What are you going to do about it? Now, Mars is conjoining with Black Moon Lilith. Black Moon Lilith can be really tough. Psychologically, she's very demanding. As I always say, she's like a dark Venus. She's a feminine energy, but a feminine energy that demands respect, equality, value. And Black Moon Lilith, because she's got a sexual connotation to her as well, being in Taurus. Taurus is the five senses. So how I see this, because Taurus is also the physical body, this could be quite challenging and quite frustrating. So not being able to move forward, someone not understanding the value in moving forward, and or not being able to move forward because of illusion, misconception, misunderstandings. Okay, and there's a sense of, I feel that there is a sense of strong frustration, sexual, physical, and a frustration to do with money as well, because remember, Taurus is also our money and what we value, what helps to make us feel comfortable. And of course, Black Moon Lilith could also show up as a person. Now, psychologically, it's tough energy. Okay, this is mental hardship. It's quite stressful. She's quite stressful. She's quite dark as well. Okay, so Mercury is retrograding in Aquarius. Mercury is moving backwards. Mercury is conjoining with Jupiter. Mercury is the logic, it's the left brain. Mercury is very amplified as he's very close to the earth. He's the messenger of the gods. It looks like the messenger Mercury is conjoining with Zeus, the king of the gods. There is some sort of a conversation. Mercury is going back to try and what's the word, to have that special meeting, that special conversation with the king, with God, let's say, in relation to matters of Aquarius, matters of the future, matters of humanity. Remember that Mercury retrograde brings back situations and people from the past. Now, Mercury is the left brain, it's the logic. Jupiter is the higher octave of Mercury. So it's like we've got that higher mind. There's strong air energies. Air is communication, it's understanding, it's the way our brain works, the way we read into things, our understanding of things. There is help from spirit here. Jupiter is very spiritual. Remember that Jupiter rules Sagittarius. So this could also mean this conversation could also have to do with matters of philosophy. What is your philosophy? What is your truth? If there's been no justice, remember that Jupiter can also rule justice. Jupiter also deals with, different nations, other cultures, but Jupiter is also very expansive. He's very much about the truth. Okay, now Jupiter can bring justice to humanity, but Jupiter can also bring the separation, the dividing, so a split, if you get what I mean, because that's what Jupiter is. Remember, he's all about justice. So where there's been no justice, there's going to be two sides to a situation. So it's either expansion and growth, or it's cutting something in half, dividing it into two. Where there is no justice, there will be a division. So, Jupiter being, and Mercury and Venus, they're all at the 13th, 14th, and 15th degree. They are trining over to the North Node. So there are fated things happening in relation to money, love, values, projects in your own personal life, as well as on world scale. So matters of law, justice, the media. Remember that Mercury is also the media. The truth, okay, surrounding money, humanity, values within our humanity, within our truth, within our learning curbs. We're going through learning curbs. We've got the student and we've got the teacher here. So some of you will be a teacher in a situation. The other person you're dealing with will be the student, or the other way around. Remember that Mercury is youth. It rules Gemini and it rules Virgo. So Virgo is health. It's our daily routine. It's work, but it's also Gemini, which rules the media. It rules communication. It rules, a decision having needed to be made. So it's interesting that we've got Mercury, which rules Gemini, and we've got Jupiter, which rules Sagittarius, and they are trining and sextiling over to the nodes. Interesting, right? So these are helpful energies, obviously. So we're going to see fated matters to do with the things that I just mentioned. Remember that the South Node is what we're letting go of. So something to do with a karmic past. North Node is where we're heading to. And it's interesting that we've got Juno here conjoining with the South Node. Whatever is next to the nodes, it's amplified. So in relation to our commitments, the way we love, nurture, and provide to our relationships, or how we want that for ourselves, there's something karmic that we're needing to shed. Just like that serpent that sheds its skin, the dead weight. Okay, so letting go of things to do with past, old ideas, matters to do with your karmic past. Now, of course, this is on a worldly level. It is, this is the sky for everyone, but in your own personal journey, obviously, the transiting nodes will be affecting your own chart in some area. So those of you that are familiar with your own charts, look and see where you've got the South Node. Where is Sag in your own chart? That's where you will be affected. And of course, we've got the T-square here, two squares. So Neptune and the moon, which moves very fast, of course. Neptune squaring over to this area. Now this square is breaking up, as I've been saying. The nodes have moved from that 19th degree, so things are starting to happen now. Things are starting to change. Where this illusion is concerned, remember a T-square is like pressure being built. And here we've got Juno, which does deal with the asteroid of commitments. Remember in mythology, this is Zeus, Jupiter's wife. Okay, so she's the queen of the skies. Jupiter is the king, she is the queen. So she's like very similar to, in the tarot, the Empress, as Jupiter would be the Emperor. All right, what else do we have here? As I was talking about Mars and Black Moon Lilith conjoining in Taurus, there is a trine over to Neptune. If you think of all these energies, they're very malefic, very dark. Pluto is at the 25th degree in Capricorn, which Pluto means transformation and change. There is helpful celestial energies here. And remember that a trine being 120 degrees is help from spirit. It's flowing energy. It's not something that we need to take action on. The help comes naturally. Okay, so let's see what else is going on. We've got Chiron here, the wounded healer, an open wound to do with self-worth, sextiling over to Saturn. Now, as I said, a sextile is not easy. Well, it doesn't come naturally. We've got to make the effort to heal this open karmic wound or something that's been holding us back. And I would say that the help would come through spiritual help. So using your higher self, your higher mind, and try to relieve. And that's my kitty trying to climb the wall. Looks like she's starting to lose it. Yeah, so use spirit, because remember that Saturn, he was the Lord of Karma. He would eat his own children, so he was a dark titan in mythology. So he's all about those fears, those limitations, someone breathing down your neck, right? So it's to relieve this energy. In sextile, as I said, is that the helpful energy is there, but you need to do the work, right? And I'm going to say also that there is a sense of freedom with Saturn in Aquarius, a sense of freeing yourself up. Remember that Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and we've got a square here. So this is also helpful energy, I'm going to say. Why do I love squares? Because they bring change, necessary change. It's better to have change than to have stagnant, stuck energy, and Saturn can be very stuck. Now, there is a sense of using the higher mind. Remember that Saturn Saturn was the son of Uranus the father, and Saturn is in his father's sign. So he's not as strong as being in Capricorn, his own sign. So there is a sense of using that intelligence, let's say, or I can even say that Saturn is just much more positive and more open to looking towards the future or matters of freedom, maybe even through a spiritual sense. Remember that Saturn, because he rules Capricorn, Capricorn is earth. Okay, it's cardinal earth. And it's all about taking charge, becoming the elder, and instigating newness in the sign of Aquarius. All right, so what else do we have? We've got Venus trining over to the North Node, as I said. Venus, Mercury, of course, has already trined. It's still happening, and Jupiter is heading towards trining even more precisely. But the most important thing is that Saturn and Uranus square, which is happening in about 4 days, so around the 17th, depending on where you are in the world. The day after that, we have the Sun ingressing into Pisces. So we're moving more into the mutable energy of Pisces. Okay, so I think that I will leave it there. Just last thing before I leave you. So around the 20th or 19th, wherever you are in the world, we're going to have the lovers in a square. So Venus, it's already happening. Venus is squaring over to Mars. Okay, so these are the lovers of the zodiac. Is there value in this connection, or are we going to break free, do things differently to break free from something that hasn't been working for us? Remember that Mars is actually in the house that Venus rules. So this is helpful energy. This is very helpful energy. Okay, that's more progressive astrology. So I'll just leave you with that the fact that Mars is in a Venus-ruled sign, that is very helpful energy. So remember that a square is also, we're turning a corner, we're ready to do the work. So change needs to happen, and change is healthy. All right, so I think they were the important points that I needed to mention to you. I will be back with more. Happy Valentine's Day, and I'm wishing you well. I hope that you receive all the love that you deserve, whether it's from family, from people that you love, your friends, the people that surround you, and from your beloved relationships, whatever they are for you. Happy Valentine's, everyone. Wishing you well, and just take a step backwards, take a deep breath and take a step backwards if you come across someone that is really pushing you to your limits, because Uranus squaring over to Saturn can be like we're hitting a wall and something's got to change. Remember, I see Uranus as the tower, especially in Taurus. Something's got to change from the foundation. All right, so much love and much light to all of you. Talk to you soon.